There's a nice fish there. We're really looking for the wads of them though. You know, they're gonna, see, there we go, here's a wad of them, and those are arced up high. See how they're kind of in line with the break? Sometimes they tend to get a little bit competitive with each other, and those are the fish that you can get to eat really well. That's a lot of times when you get, you know, 3-4 casts in a row, get fish to bite because they're grouped up and being competitive. You can see these contour lines are pretty widespread, and right here, represented by the tight lines, that's the steep break. And as you can see, it's translating right here. We're going from 30 up to 12, 10, 6 very quickly. This point is way steeper than I realized, which is an awesome place. A steep break like that is a perfect place for walleyes to push bait fish up onto. So they come to this kind of place for a reason, and that's to eat. So we've got a bunch of yellow-rumped warblers that are seeking refuge on the boat here. It's kind of interesting. They're landing on my rod tip, and they're landing on the trolling motor, and they're obviously landing in the back of the boat. It's kind of nice having some company out here. Just getting swarmed with warblers. There we go. Gosh, that was instant. 2 pumps in on the bottom. So fun. So it's obviously not a real nice day out today, but that's okay. I'm out here for a reason. The walleyes are putting on the feed bag, as you say. So it's a small window of time, you know, right around October when water temps get, you know, that 55 to 50 range. Come here. And so you got to take advantage of it, because as it is with this year, temps are dropping pretty fast. So that window could only get smaller. And so even if it's crummy weather like this, you got to come out and take advantage of it, because they hate lures for some reason. They absolutely crush them. And it's nice, you know, you get that, like a jig and a minnow bite early in the spring. 1 second. Which is some of my favorite in the year. And then it takes a while to get back into fall, where these guys, like I said, just get mad and absolutely love artificial lures. So, good start. So I've chosen to use a jigging rap today. One of my absolute favorite artificial lures for walleyes. I already said I love that early spring jig and a minnow bite, love to rip jig, and so the jigging rap really allows me to do that. 2 really awesome things about it. Like I said, we've got a really steep break line here, so a jigging rap is going to glide down that break line really well. So that hang time, you know, those fish will hit it on the fall, so you've got a little bit more time for that to fall as the bait glides over the steep break, and so that's when those fish are going to hit it. And the other thing is, it's a reaction bite. It moves fairly fast, and so as you notice, I'm just hitting bottom, and as soon as I hit bottom, I'm popping it off again. And so that thing is just kind of sideways, nosing back and forth, pounding into the sand, popping up and then gliding and then nosing into the sand. And they just can't stand that thing blowing by them. So not all lakes are created equally when it comes to fishing jigging raps. A lot of the clearer bodies of water have weed lines that go out pretty deep, you know, go out to 17, 18 feet. And then beyond that, what you'll run into is what we call sandgrass or moss, which really tends to foul up the jigging rap. So certain lakes lend themselves much better to fish a jigging rap with. This lake happens to be awesome. The weed line dies off in 7.5 feet of water. It's a boggier, darker lake. Walleyes have a lot easier time feeding in watercolors like that. But the best part about it is it's all hard sand with sporadic boulders. So there's really nothing to interfere. You know, it's clean bottom. There's nothing to interfere with this jigging rap making its way along the bottom. It's such an addicting way to fish, just crashing bottom, popping off, and you go to jig one more time and it's just dead weight. Really fun. Oh, there we go. Wham! Ooh, I was just feeling that jigging rap. I hit the sharp part of the break, so I was feeling it sore for quite a while. You know, I'm feeling it hit bottom, pop, hit bottom, pop, and all of a sudden it started gliding. So I hit the edge of that break, and look who was there to intercept it. Like clockwork. Pretty awesome. I love a big wide walleye, man. I think this is another big wide one. Feels heavy. Look at that, you can tell. That's his tail, not his head shake. I don't know. He hasn't done anything serious yet. He's just pounding away. This makes me feel like it's a decent one. Now he's starting to realize something. Oop, 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 oop. I haven't even seen him yet. There, I got a little glimpse of something. I'm gonna get down low. Yep, another nice one. Another decent one. Look at that, the jigging Rap is gone. Always seems to happen when you net these fish. The jigging Rap will get caught in the net and then boop, comes right out, which is really nice. Super cool. I mean, these are like ideally wide walleyes. I love this. Love how wide these fish are. Big belly on them. Nice dark yellow fish. Crushing jigging Raps. Look at that. Those are the right shape. Those are the right shape. Nice. It's just all about having the imagination in your mind, the way that this point sets up. You know, by doing some mapping, I definitely got a good idea of it. Casting around and feeling my way on this point and knowing where those breaks are and knowing where the fish is has allowed me to put my bait in the right place every time. You know, if you look down on the graph right now, it's almost like a constant train of fish. Like they are really utilizing this point to feed on. And one thing that, oh, see, bam, that didn't even hit bottom. That's wonderful. Here we go. One thing I've noticed is that these fish are kind of suspended off the break, so the break makes a hard cut, and the fish are right where the break is, but they're up off bottom, so they're waiting for stuff to come off that break. See if I can find the net here. Feels like a fun one, maybe a little bigger than that last fish. There's some tangled up now. There we go. Come here, come here, come here. Little drag. This could be one of those better ones we're looking for. Oh yeah, that's a pretty fish right there. Come on, girl. She choked it. She choked it. She choked it. There we go. All right. Man, we're in the mess of them there. Like I said, the graph was just a constant train, and you know, caught that fish and second cast, casted back. And the bait didn't even hit bottom. There we go. That's the lummox that we're looking for. Man, I love it in October. You can just tell the belly on these girls. They are chowing, and a lot of times you'll see that jigging Rap is just T-boned in the mouth, almost as far down as it can go. So there, that's a perfect example of a nice October beauty. Let's get her back. Oh, they're the best. Look at that hog. Goodbye, girl. Okay, like I said, I think we're in the money now, so I'm gonna flip back to the boat, give it a couple more pumps because I found my line. There's a little horseshoe right here where the break comes down almost perfectly, and with the way I'm sitting with the wind, I can bring that jigging Rap back perfectly. So I'm gonna try to keep making the same cast down that line, repeat that, and hopefully keep bringing fish back to the boat. Bam! Cast number 3, I got hit on the first pop, it popped off, and now I'm hooked up again. So this one doesn't feel like the bruiser it was the last fish, but I just love the way they hit jigging Raps. Come here, girl. Another nice one. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Boom. 3 casts in a row. Found the sweet spot. And it can be like this all day as soon as you find them. A point like this sets up so good for these fish to come and eat on, and you just got to be right place, right time. Keep an eye on the water temperatures and put on a reaction style bait that the fish just can't resist crushing. Goodbye.